All right, so are you ready to dive into this? We're talking about the disappearance of Flight 19. And look, I know what you're thinking. Oh, great, another Bermuda Triangle story. But trust me on this one, this isn't just some spooky tale. It's a mystery that's baffled people for decades, and we're going to unpack all of it, the details, the theories, all of it, with our expert and see what we think.
Yeah, you know what always gets me? It's how normal it all seemed at first. Like, picture it. December 5th, 1945. The world's still kind of catching its breath after World War II, right? And you've got these 5 Navy bombers, Grumman TBM Avengers, taking off on a routine training mission. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah, just another day at the office, huh?
Basically.
So we've got sunny skies, experienced pilots, Lieutenant Charles Taylor, a veteran pilot, tons of flight time, especially from the Piss Theater, taking off from Fort Lauderdale, heading out over the Atlantic. Their mission, a simple triangular flight plan. East towards the Bahamas for some bombing practice, north and then southwest, back to base. Like drawing a giant triangle in the sky. Simple, right?
Yeah, exactly. And those post-war training flights, those were crucial. They kept the pilots sharp, honed their skills, made sure the equipment was good to go, all that. The Avenger was a reliable aircraft too. And the weather. Pretty typical for the area. A little breezy maybe, but nothing that should have caused any serious issues.
Okay, so everything seems pretty standard so far. So where does it all go wrong? When does this routine training mission become, well, the mystery of Flight 19?
About an hour and a half into the flight, Lieutenant Taylor radios the tower, and this is where things start to get a bit strange. He reports that his compasses are malfunctioning. They're all over the place, and they're completely disoriented.
Wait, hold on. His compasses are on the frets. I mean, I know this is 1945, but wasn't a compass like essential equipment back then?
Absolutely. We're talking pre-GPS, obviously. And over the ocean, a compass wasn't just a backup, it was a lifeline. Celestial navigation was important too, sure, but those compasses were what kept them on course. So for a pilot like Taylor, with his experience, to report a compass malfunction, that's not just an inconvenience, that's a major red flag.
And I'm guessing it didn't get any better from there, did it?
Well, let's just say Taylor's transmissions, they started to take on a bit of a frantic tone.
Uh-oh, frantic, huh?
Yeah, frantic. Like, imagine that. You're up in the air, sun's starting to set, your compasses are spinning like a top, and all you see around you is miles and miles of open ocean. I don't care how experienced you are, that's got to get to you.
No kidding. I mean, talk about pressure. And we all know what pressure can do, right?
Right.
Even when you're not thousands of feet in the air with a bunch of guys looking to you for, leadership. It can make you do crazy things, make you doubt yourself.
Exactly. And when you listen to the recordings of Taylor's transmissions, you can practically hear the panic rising. He starts to believe, for whatever reason, that they're over the Florida Keys.
The Florida Keys. But they weren't anywhere near the Keys, were they?
Not even close. They were most likely east of the Bahamas at that point, drifting further and further out. He thought they were south, near land, but they were going in the completely wrong direction.
Oh man, that's just scary to think about. It's like that feeling when you're lost, but multiply that by 1,000.
And with each passing minute, the situation just becomes more and more desperate.
And the sun's going down.
Right, the sun's going down, fuel's running low, and they're still no closer to figuring out where they are. It's like something out of a nightmare. And then, through all that static, you hear Taylor's voice again, clear as day, and he says...
Wait, are you about to quote one of his last transmissions? Because you know me too well, sometimes I just find those final messages so haunting,
Yeah, this one's chilling, all right. He says, "We are heading west. We are completely lost."
We are completely lost. It sends shivers down my spine every time I hear it. 5 planes just swallowed by the ocean, and all they could do was head west and hope for the best.
And hope that someone heard them. But we have to remember, radio technology back then wasn't what it is today. It wasn't always reliable, especially over long distances.
Oh, absolutely. So even if they were transmitting, there's no guarantee anyone could hear them clearly.
Right. You've got static, interference, weather conditions, all playing a part. It's entirely possible their transmissions weren't getting through or were garbled, fragmented.
Makes you grateful for cell phones and GPS, huh?
You have no idea. But yeah, back then, all they had was that radio signal. And even that, it wasn't a sure thing.
And what about Flight 19's last transmission? Was there anything else that gave any clue to what happened?
The last message we have suggests they were running out of options, literally. Fuel was critically low, and it was getting dark. Taylor ordered his men to prepare to ditch into the water.
Ditch into the water. Man, I can only imagine what that must have been like. Just waiting, hoping.
hoping against hope for a miracle.
Right. That maybe, just maybe, they managed to land safely. That someone, somehow, spotted them out there on the vast expanse of the ocean.
Did they ever find, did the search and rescue teams ever find any sign of them?
They launched a massive search operation. One of the largest air and sea searches ever undertaken at that time. Planes, ships, hundreds of personnel, all scouring that area of the Atlantic. But
nothing.
Nothing. They never recovered a single piece of wreckage, no debris, no life rafts, nothing. It's as if Flight 19 and everyone on board simply vanished.
And that's what makes this whole thing so strange, right? 5 Navy bombers just gone without a trace. How is that even possible?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's the question that's fueled countless theories and speculations over the years. And this is where, of course, we get into the whole Bermuda Triangle aspect of this story.
Yeah, because you can't talk about Flight 19 without talking about the Bermuda Triangle, can you? It's like one of the most infamous disappearances linked to that area. That stretch of ocean shrouded in mystery, swallowing ships and planes whole, defying explanation. It's like something out of a movie.
It really is. And whether or not the Bermuda Triangle actually had anything to do with the disappearance of Flight 19, that's debatable. But there's no denying the incident played a huge part in cementing the legend, the mythos of that region.
And it's not just Flight 19, right? There's the whole Dumbo incident, the rescue plane that was sent to find them, and that disappeared too.
Yeah. The Dumbo, it was a PBM Mariner seaplane specifically designed for search and rescue operations. They sent it out to search for Flight 19, and, well, it never returned to base either.
Hold on, wait a minute. So they send out a rescue plane to find the missing bombers, and then the rescue plane disappears too. Are you serious?
That's the gist of it, yeah. It's like one tragedy compounded by another. This time shrouded in even more mystery, if that's even possible. There were reports, rumors of a mid-air explosion, but nothing concrete. No confirmed sighting of wreckage, nothing.
So we've got 5 Navy bombers vanishing into thin air, and then a massive rescue plane equipped to handle tough maritime conditions meets the same fate. And it all happens in the same general area, a region already infamous for strange and unexplained events. Come on, how do you explain that?
And that's the thing, isn't it? We're left grappling with these unanswered questions. Was it human error, compounded by the limitations of the technology at the time? Were there environmental factors at play, things we could only speculate about? Or is it something else entirely, something unexplainable? Those are questions that, even after all these years, still don't have definitive answers.
It's a mystery that just keeps on giving, isn't it? And I think, for me, that's part of the appeal. It makes you think, it makes you wonder what really happened out there. What do you think? Any theories you find particularly compelling?
I have my suspicions, of course, but I think I'll leave that to our listeners to decide. We've laid out the facts, the timeline, the known details. Now, it's up to you to weigh the evidence, to explore the theories, and come to your own conclusions. Because sometimes the most fascinating mysteries are the ones that remain unsolved.
That's a great point to end on, don't you think? The mystery of Flight 19, a tale of vanishing planes, a legendary stretch of ocean, and questions that continue to echo through time. Thanks for diving into this with me, and a huge thank you to our expert for, well, being the expert. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and as always, keep looking up.